All right, so let's take a trip back in time right now with the help of Jeff John Roberts from Fortune. How's it going, Jeff?
It's going good, Jason. Good to be here.
It's great to have you back. You wrote about an invasion of privacy case that first began back in 2012, covering the years between 2010 through 2012, which feels like ancient history right now. Now we're finally seeing a settlement out of this. Let's start with the kind of the basics of the case. What companies were involved in this, and what exactly were they accused of doing?
Yeah, I think when you said it's a blast from the past, it kind of is, because it almost seems sort of quaint, like given the privacy invasions we've seen since then. This was when social networks were first really mushrooming, and you signed up for a new service like Path, or remember when Instagram was new, and to find your friends, there's a function in iOS that would populate the thing with your friends, as we do all the time. But I guess then they hadn't phrase the terms and conditions in a way to get permission to copy your contact list to their server. So they tripped over what looks a bit like a technical violation, but they still didn't ask. And in the background, they've been slugging it up for years. Who else is there? Yelp is there, and Foursquare is there, and Godwalla, I don't know if they're still around, was there. It's as I said, it's a trip down memory lane. So that's what it is. And I guess Apple is still fighting, and everyone else has just thrown in the towel and agreed to pay $5.3 million.
Food Spotting, Foursquare, Kick, Path is on there. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So this wasn't just a matter of uploading or sharing the contacts from the phone, from the iOS devices to remote servers, which is, part of the case. But there's also an aspect of this where they claim that information was accessed and stolen. How do they know about that?
Yeah, that's the allegation. I mean, if you're with the consumer side, it's sort of this form of data mining that wasn't permitted. And they've gone and sort of maybe scraped and queried your data, and what did they do with it? On the other hand, Yelp actually filed a motion and said, no, this is, if you agree to share your contacts, this is just how it works. It's a technology. But the judge actually rejected that 6 months ago and said, no, you have to ask. So, I mean, I don't see any serious allegations here, but maybe I'm just sort of, jaded by given all the other spectacular privacy invasions we've seen. This is sort of like the nostalgia privacy violation.
Right.
So the consumers won this one, but really we are giving away our contact information. What's happening here is still happening with many of the apps, with Facebook, but we're just they've clarified it in the terms of service, and we've agreed to it now.
Pretty much, yeah. And that's what happened after this. They rapidly changed their terms of service to allow this after they were sued. But, since they didn't do so beforehand, that means it violated sort of, these privacy laws, and they finally agreed to pay out.
Okay, so pay up. This is the moment of truth where we get the major reveal. All of these companies, all of that privacy, all of this time in between. What was the actual payoff to members? And then, of course, maybe more importantly, what did the lawyers get in this case?
You're so cynical. Believe it or not, I've watched these things for years, and this is better than most. The lawyers, I think, are probably going to get their usual 25%, but it sounds like there will be a full $5.3 million to consumers, which once they break that all down, we're all going to get like 50 cents each. But that's better than it used to be. What they used to do before is just give most of it to the lawyers, make a donation to charity, and the consumers weren't even involved. So this, at least soon, if the judge approves the settlement, and I suspect he will, there'll be this form online. You can go and say, hey, I downloaded that app between 2010 and 2012. And I'm pretty sure some of us, me included, did. I think that's why I downloaded Instagram. And then you'll get a payment, and the amount will be based on how many other people sign up too. And finally, the odd thing about this is, guess how you get paid? You get paid in Amazon Cash. So I don't, so.
Okay, so 50 cents. I found that on my floor this morning, and that's not that much. I think most of us can agree. How effective are class action lawsuits to really getting companies to change their privacy policies to make them more consumer friendly?
Better than nothing. And in the absence of a kind of robust privacy enforcer, other countries, Europe, even Canada, have these privacy commissioners that go in and really kind of give the companies hell. But in the U.S., the FTC's toothless in a lot of ways. And so this is sort of better than nothing. But I don't know. Do you think your privacy is better protected than 5 years ago? Somehow the tech companies always win.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe it's not as protected, but like you say, they're telling you now in the terms of service that you probably don't read. You're right, I am a little cynical. I apologize about that. So Apple, of course, was not a part of this settlement. What can Apple look forward to out of this? An extended case that reaches another 5 years?
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to outspend the plaintiffs, or who knows what's happening. Because the original lawsuit was against like 18 companies, and gradually most of them have left or settled, and Apple's the only one left standing. But Apple, typically with so many things in the tech industry, goes its own way, and also Apple can be more litigious. There's the Samsung case is going to go on till we're all dead, I think. So this could be one of those where just out of stubbornness, Apple lawyers don't like to lose, but or maybe a year from now we'll be doing this show again when Apple has decided to give us 50 cents too.
Well, how much are we as a consumer really responsible here? Because this was the Find Friends feature. The idea was, I want to see which one of my friends are on Instagram. And so isn't it inherent in that idea that you would be then sharing your contacts? Isn't it obvious?
Yeah, that's what the companies are saying. But, it's one of those, how tech literate do consumers have to be? And I think 5 years ago, you'd say, oh my God, I didn't know it was going to do this. But now I think, consumers sort of know how it works, and you sign up for this, it's going to happen. That said, I still think there should be ways for when you do download these things, they're going to explain what they do and what, capacities in your phone they're going to access, and give you a clear yes-no opportunity. But, as I said, the idea of an app like scraping your contact list is kind of quaint by now.
Yeah, I think they have gotten a little better. It used to be that Facebook would post to your wall and you wouldn't, you get some like, you just sold some carrots on Farmville. Mm-hmm. And now I think apps are really much more clear about that. Like we want access to your contacts, but we're not going to post on your wall without you knowing. So things like that. There's some improvement.
Yeah, and norms have changed a bit. What they call growth hacking, what Path did, where they do what you're talking about. They just get into it, then spam all your friends. The backlash against that sort of behavior is a lot higher now. That really ticks people off. So, maybe the companies have gotten a little more respectful, but in the bigger picture, I'm not sure how far ahead we are.
Yeah, LinkedIn still does it.
I can't get rid of them. I tweet the other day, death taxes and LinkedIn. My email just keeps filling up. I've unsubscribed over and over. I've stopped fighting them.
I can't quit you, LinkedIn. Awesome stuff. Really appreciate getting you back on. It's been too long. Jeff John Roberts with Fortune. Tell people where they can follow all the awesome work you're doing online.
Yeah, come check out our tech section. Follow me at Jeff John Roberts at Twitter. And thank you, Jason. Thanks, Megan. Good to be here.